Gitavach. So I'll tell you, Maisi, one of the great Chassidish Rebbes was, his name was Mordechai Blechowicz. So the story goes that there was a certain chassid of Mordechai Blechowicz who was a very fiery, very attached to his Rebbe. But this chassid's mazel, his father-in-law, wasn't a follower of Mordechai Blechowicz. Not only was he not a follower of Motzei Blechowicz, he was not a follower of any Chassidish Rebbe. Not only was he not a follower of any Chassidish Rebbe, he was a big misnagid, a very big misnagid. And he didn't, he wasn't shy about it. His son-in-law wasn't shy about being a chassid, and so it was very often a source of conflict between him and his father-in-law and him. Okay, it is what it is. So the story goes that Baruch Hashem, this chassid, the son-in-law, him and his wife, they had a baby boy. So it's a gewaltige simcha. So he was very excited by this. And his Rebbe, Mordechai Blechowicz, was not only a big tzaddik, he was also a moil. And he took the mitzvah of Milah very, very seriously. In fact, it said about Mordechai Blechowicz that anyone that ever offered him the opportunity to be a moil, the answer was always yes. It could be some distant shtetl. In parentheses, there's a story that it was an Erev Shabbos. It was an Erev Shabbos during the winter, and there were two poor yidden from two different shtadlach that both asked Mordechai Blechowicz to be the moil on that Erev Shabbos, and it was again during the winter where it's a short day, and Chassidim were telling him, it's impossible to get to both places and to get back in time for Shabbos. He said, no, Avram Avinu was, the Gemara says one of the examples is Rizas, was Avram Avinu jumping to do the mitzvah of Bris Milah, which means that if you push yourself by Bris Milah, you'll have Rizas, you'll have Kvitz Zaderech, it'll work out. And Kachav, he was able to go to Boshtadlach, on a short Friday, get back at home in order to have Shabbos. So he was very, very, very deeply attached to the mitzvah of Bris Milah. So anyway, this chassid has a son, so he has his Rebbe, he's very close with, he's a moil. So he's all very excited. He asked his Rebbe to be the moil, 100%. Everyone's all excited about this. Now the father-in-law, as I said, was a big misnagid. He saw right now that he has an opportunity. His opportunity is to, in one, two birds with one stone, so to speak. So in one moment, in one shot, he's gonna, do something against his son-in-law and his son-in-law's Rebbe. What was it? So let's say the bris was supposed to be Tuesday morning, whatever it was. So it was called for, let's say, Shachris is called for 7 o'clock, whatever it is. So this father-in-law, again, I don't know how he was able to, maneuver this, but before the minyan started, before anyone gets to shul, he got a few of his chaver together, a minyan of his friend Misnagdim, and they got the baby, and they did the milah before the time of the minyan, before the father came, before the Rebbe came, and so the son-in-law is coming, the chassid with his Rebbe, they're all coming to shul, excited for the bris milah, and all of a sudden they see coming towards them out of the shul is the father-in-law with his friends, and they're all smiling, all excited. He says, so what's going on? I said, oh, Mazel Tov, we already did the bris. So it is what it is. I don't know if they named the baby, I have no idea how that worked, but they did the bris. So obviously the son-in-law is mamash crestful, and not only did he miss the opportunity to be involved with his son's bris, but he missed the opportunity to have his Rebbe be the moil. It was mamash crestful, but it is what it is. So they went home, they had davened, I guess, and they went home to have the Suda for the bris milah, which they didn't participate in. And the pella was that he saw by his Rebbe, by Mordechai of Blechowicz, that Mordechai was always excited by a bris milah, and especially after the bris milah was performed, and he was, just enjoying the experience. But over here, the son-in-law saw by the Rebbe that he was over the moon excited. The simcha and the slavas, just the pleasure that Mordechai was having by the Suda of the bris milah was just over the top. And so the chassid himself was not only not besimcha, he was mamish upset and depressed about what happened. So he goes to his Rebbe, he says, Rebbe, how's it possible that you're besimcha right now, even more than the usual bris? So Mordechai says to the chassid, he says, no, you don't understand. The Gemara says that, he said like this, every time you do a mitzvah, even if you have all the greatest intentions in the world, there's always going to be some aspect of your motivation which is not 100% complete. There's going to be something, some for ego. There's always going to be something. It's never 100% perfect. No mitzvah is ever 100% perfect. But the Gemara says that if a person is chishev lasis a mitzvah, if a person wanted to do a mitzvah, v'nenas, but something happened out of their control, and they were unable to perform the mitzvah. Something happened. Like in this case, I want to do the bris milah. You wanted to be involved with your son's bris. Something happened that stopped us from being able to do it. Says the Gemara, when such a situation happens, the Rebbeinu Shalom considers it as if you did it. So even though you couldn't, and you didn't practically, Hashem considers it as if you did. Said Mordechai. And when the Rebbeinu Shalom considers it as if you did it, what type of mitzvah does Hashem consider it that you've done? 50%? 75%? 99.9%? No. If Hashem is considering it as if you did it, He's considering it as if you did it 100% perfect. So said Mordechai, this is the only bris milah in my entire life that I can say I did it 100% perfect. The action was perfect, the thoughts were perfect, motivations were perfect, because it was in fact a milah that I didn't do. And it was a milah that I wanted to do, and it was taken away from me against my will, but Hashem considers it as if I did it. And if He's considering it as if I did it, it means He's considering it as if I did it perfectly. If that's a reason to be b'simcha. That's what Mordechai told the Chassan. Listen, at the end of the day, Rachmana liba, the Rebbeinu Shalom wants our hearts. And obviously, when a person has the opportunity to do a mitzvah, then you have to do it. If you don't do it, then it means he didn't really want it either. But if a person wants to do the right thing, and there are extenuating circumstances that stop them from doing it, you should know the Rebbeinu Shalom not only considers it as if you did it, sort of according to your standards. Hashem considers it as if you did it according to His standards. And those are the most beautiful, perfect mitzvahs of all. As Hashem, when Mashiach comes, it'll be shown that even throughout Golus, we were sacrificing karbanas, and we were being oile regel to the Beis Hamikdash. We weren't physically able to do it, but we wanted to. And those mitzvahs that we wanted to do, Hashem considers it as if we did it 100% perfectly. Hashem should bless us to be able to fulfill all the mitzvahs in practical terms, down to earth. Amen.